practice described, involving SJO cable, double duplex boxes, and carpet runners over cables for temporary power in an exposition hall, is not an accepted practice according to the National Electrical Code. NFPA 72, the National Electrical Alarm Code, mandates that temporary electrical power systems adhere to the National Electrical Code's provisions. Article 305 of the NEC specifically addresses temporary power systems. SJO cable isn't suitable for temporary power distribution in exposition halls because it lacks the heavy-duty rating required for the anticipated load and poses a potential fire hazard. Double duplex boxes are also inappropriate for high-capacity temporary power distribution as they may be unable to handle the load and could overheat. Placing carpet runners over exposed cables creates a tripping hazard and elevates the risk of cable damage. To ensure a safe and code-compliant temporary power installation, several steps are essential. Firstly, secure a permit from the local authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, before commencing any temporary power installation. Secondly, use a heavy-duty cable designed to withstand the expected load and environmental conditions. Typically, SO-OSE cables are appropriate choices. Thirdly, install properly rated junction boxes or distribution panels to effectively distribute power throughout the exposition hall. Fourthly, protect cables from potential damage and tripping hazards by utilizing cable trays, ramps, or other approved methods. Fifthly, provide overcurrent protection through circuit breakers or fuses to safeguard cables and equipment from overload. Sixthly, conduct regular inspections of the temporary power system to identify and address any signs of damage or safety hazards. The NEC outlines specific requirements for temporary wiring, addressing concerns such as physical protection, grounding, and overcurrent protection. It emphasizes the importance of using approved methods and materials to minimize electrical hazards. Temporary wiring must be supported and secured to prevent accidental displacement and protect against physical damage. Grounding is crucial for temporary power systems to ensure safety and prevent electrical shock hazards. All non-current carrying metal parts of electrical equipment must be grounded, and grounding conductors must be properly sized and installed. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are essential for protecting temporary wiring and equipment from overloads and short circuits. These devices must be properly rated and installed in accordance with the NEC requirements. The NEC also addresses the use of ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, in temporary wiring systems. GFCIs are required in certain locations, such as construction sites and wet areas, to protect personnel from electrical shock hazards. Proper planning and design are essential for a safe and reliable temporary power system. The system must be designed to meet the anticipated load requirements and provide adequate overcurrent protection. It is crucial to consider factors such as voltage drop, conductor ampacity, and environmental conditions when designing the system. Qualified personnel should perform the installation, maintenance, and inspection of temporary power systems. These individuals must be knowledgeable about the NEC requirements and have the necessary skills to perform the work safely. Regular inspections are crucial for identifying and addressing potential hazards in temporary power systems. Inspections should be performed before the system is energized and periodically throughout its use. Any damaged or defective equipment must be repaired or replaced immediately. Temporary power systems should be disconnected and removed promptly after the event or project is completed. All wiring and equipment must be removed, and the area should be restored to its original condition. By following these guidelines and adhering to the NEC requirements, it is possible to ensure the safe and reliable use of temporary power in exposition halls and other temporary installations. The use of SJO cable, double duplex boxes, and carpet runners over cables does not meet the standards for safety or code compliance. A proper temporary power system is essential for protecting attendees and equipment and preventing electrical hazards. Always consult with a qualified electrical contractor and obtain the necessary permits before installing temporary power. The NEC provides detailed information on temporary electrical installations in Article 590, supplementing the general requirements outlined in Article 305. Article 590 emphasizes safety measures to protect workers and the public from electrical hazards associated with temporary power systems. Some key aspects covered in Article 590 include GFCI protection, wiring methods, and grounding requirements. GFCI protection is mandatory for all 125-volt single-phase, 15, 20, and 30 ampere receptacles that are not part of the permanent wiring of the building or structure. This requirement aims to minimize the risk of electrical shock in damp or wet locations. The wiring methods for temporary electrical power must comply with specific guidelines to ensure safety and prevent damage to the wiring. Cables must be securely fastened and protected from physical damage, and connections must be made in approved enclosures. Grounding is essential for temporary power systems to provide a path for fault current and reduce the risk of electrical shock. All metal enclosures and equipment must be properly grounded, and grounding conductors must be sized and installed according to the NEC requirements. In addition to the general requirements for temporary power systems, Article 590 also addresses specific applications such as carnivals, circuses, and similar events. These events often involve unique electrical hazards, and the NEC provides additional safety measures to address these concerns. For example, amusement rides and attractions must be inspected and approved by a qualified electrical inspector before they are put into operation. The NEC also requires that all electrical equipment used in carnivals and circuses be properly grounded and protected from physical damage. Regular inspections and maintenance are essential for ensuring the safety of temporary electrical systems used in these events. By following the guidelines in Article 590 and consulting with a qualified electrical contractor, it is possible to create a safe and reliable temporary power system for any application. Remember to always prioritize safety and comply with all applicable codes and regulations. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical installations, and it is essential to understand and follow these standards to prevent electrical hazards. Temporary power systems can be particularly challenging due to their temporary nature and the potential for changing conditions. However, by following the NEC requirements and implementing appropriate safety measures, it is possible to ensure the safe and reliable use of temporary power in any situation. Always consult with a qualified electrical professional for guidance on specific applications and to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. The use of SJO cable, double duplex boxes, and carpet runners over cables for temporary power distribution in an exposition hall is a clear violation of the NEC requirements and poses a significant safety risk. A proper temporary power system must be installed using approved wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and grounding techniques. The system must also be inspected and maintained regularly to ensure its continued safety and reliability. Ignoring these requirements can lead to serious consequences, including electrical shock, fire, and equipment damage. Always prioritize safety and consult with a qualified electrical contractor before installing any temporary power system. The NEC is a constantly evolving document, and it is essential to stay up to date on the latest changes and revisions. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and each new edition includes changes that reflect advancements in technology and lessons learned from past incidents. Staying informed about these changes is crucial for ensuring compliance and maintaining a safe electrical environment. The NEC is available for purchase from various sources, including the National Fire Protection Association (NFPA) and other organizations. It is also available online through subscription services. In addition to the NEC, there may be other local codes and regulations that apply to temporary power systems. It is essential to check with the local AHA to determine the specific requirements in your area. The AHA has the authority to interpret and enforce the NEC and other applicable codes and regulations. They can provide guidance on specific applications and ensure that all electrical installations are safe and compliant. Working with a qualified electrical contractor is the best way to ensure that your temporary power system meets all applicable codes and regulations. A qualified contractor has the knowledge and experience to design, install, and maintain a safe and reliable system. They can also help you obtain the necessary permits and approvals from the local AHJ. Do not attempt to install a temporary power system yourself unless you have the necessary qualifications and experience. The electrical work can be dangerous, and it is essential to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. Always follow the NEC requirements and consult with a qualified electrical professional for guidance. Remember that safety is always the top priority when working with electricity. Temporary power systems can be particularly challenging due to their temporary nature and the potential for changing conditions. However, by following the NEC requirements and implementing appropriate safety measures, it is possible to ensure the safe and reliable use of temporary power in any situation. In conclusion, the initial approach to supplying temporary power described is unacceptable and unsafe. Adhering to NEC guidelines, securing permits, employing heavy-duty cables, utilizing proper distribution boxes, ensuring cable protection, providing overcurrent protection, and conducting regular inspections are paramount for a safe and compliant temporary power system in an exposition hall.